So today we're going to move on to the line work on your embroidery. So that's going to include the chemical structure on the serotonin design, the house on the happy place design, the bee of the Manchester bee, and the mortar and pestle on the pharmacy design. So there's a couple of different options you can do for this. You can either just stitch it in back stitch, so the first step of how we did the lettering yesterday, or you can do the stitch that I'm going to use, which is going to be the split stitch. So I'm going to show you how you're going to do that. So again, today I'm using 3 strands from my 6-strand embroidery floss. So I've split this into 3 strands and I'm just going to thread my needle. So again, I'm going to just tie a knot in the end of my thread so that it'll be nice and secure at the back of my work. I'm then going to come up from the back of my fabric where I want to start stitching my line work. So I'm going to start here. I'm then going to do a small stitch, again about 5mm from where I've just come up. And then I'm going to go back down to the fabric and come back up the same distance away again. So what you want to try and do is keep your stitch lengths all the same to try and make it look as even and neat as possible. So I'm going to come up through to the front of my fabric and then I'm going to go back down, but I'm going to go into the middle of the last stitch and split the threads. And pull that through. And I'm going to come up again the same distance away and go back down into my last stitch, splitting the threads in the middle of that. Now I'm essentially just going to carry on doing this until all of my line work is completed. When you get to a corner like this, and you're probably not going to want to go into the middle of the last stitch, you still want to split the stitch but just go more towards the end of it. I'm going to use this same stitch as well for the letters on the structure. Another way that you can jump across a small part of your work, so I'm going to go from here and I'm going to come down to here and come back up so then I can go there again, is to weave it into the back of your stitches, weave your thread in, and this still just prevents the back of your work from becoming too messy. So I want to get to around here. So all I'm going to do is just weave my thread through the back of these stitches, similar to the whipped back stitch yesterday. And then now I'm sort of down here, ready to come back up through the front. Yeah. And that just keeps the back nice and neat. Okay. And then when you have finished doing all the outlining of your line work in split stitch, you can just tie your thread off at the back and cut off any loose ends. Okay, I'm going to tie a knot through the stitches. And just snip off all of these ends. Right, and that is us done for today. I'll see you tomorrow when we will do the foliage around.